These instant oatmeals on deck, and I personally like the strawberries and cream the most. And then I started paying attention to the ingredients, and if you notice right here, you'll see natural flavor. When I learned what this is made out of in this, it blew my mind. Just check this out. Hold on one second.
And castoreum, typically called natural flavor, is taken from a beaver's anal gland. It's far cheaper to use castoreum, or beaver's butt, to flavor strawberry oatmeal than using actual strawberries. They don't want you to know what's in that natural flavor either. Just try to call the company and ask. They'll tell you it's proprietary. But there's nothing natural about the flavors they produce. So avoid products with natural flavor.
That's crazy, right? So, listen, and the thing about the natural flavor, too, man, there's been billions of dollars spent on natural flavors. It actually entices us to want to keep eating more. It's a chemical process they use to make natural flavor. So when I learned, it actually leads the weight gain. So when I learned that, I just switched it out, man. I go to the old-fashioned regular Quaker Oats, man, and I chop up some strawberries and maybe use some honey or some maple syrup to make it better. And, man, look, I lost 100 pounds. This was me in 2014. But I did still eating the foods that I like to eat. I like oatmeal. But when I made that switch, it helped me to lose weight. You know, I lost weight eating bread, cookies, cakes, all that. That's why I wrote Life Matters, So Let's Eat Like It, to explain how I did it. If you got to go to lose weight, this book will help. If you want to grab a copy, feel free. I got the link underneath my profile picture. Prayers up, blessings up. We used to keep these instant oatmeals on deck, and I personally like the strawberries and cream the most. And then I started paying attention to the ingredients, and if you notice right here, you'll see natural flavor. When I learned what this is made out of in this, it blew my mind. Just check this out. Hold on one second.
And castoreum, typically called natural flavor, is taken from a beaver's anal gland. It's far cheaper to use castoreum, or beaver's butt, to flavor strawberry oatmeal than using actual strawberries. They don't want you to know what's in that natural flavor either. Just try to call the company and ask. They'll tell you it's proprietary. But there's nothing natural about the flavors they produce. So avoid products with natural flavor.
That's crazy, right? So, listen, and the thing about the natural flavor, too, man, there's been billions of dollars spent on natural flavors. It actually entices us to want to keep eating more. It's a chemical process they use to make natural flavor. So when I learned, it actually leads the weight gain. So when I learned that, I just switched it out, man. I go to the old-fashioned regular Quaker Oats, man, and I chop up some strawberries and maybe use some honey or some maple syrup to make it better. And, man, look, I lost 100 pounds. This was me in 2014. But I did still eating the foods that I like to eat. I like oatmeal. But when I made that switch, it helped me to lose weight. You know, I lost weight eating bread, cookies, cakes, all that. That's why I wrote Life Matters, So Let's Eat Like It, to explain how I did it. If you got to go to lose weight, this book will help. If you want to grab a copy, feel free. I got the link underneath my profile picture. Prayers up, blessings up.
The book of Luke, chapter 11, verse 11. If a son asks bread of any of you that is a father, will he give him a stone? Or if he asks a fish, will he for a fish give him a serpent? Or if he shall ask an egg, will he offer him a scorpion? Okay, first and foremost, I'd like to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rekah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the Agams that's pushing the truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video be edifying first and foremost to the whole elect and to those that cleave to the body. As you saw in that video, I just want to bring it to brothers' attention. You know, those that doesn't know of things, obviously, you know, by eating these processed foods, you know, you never really know what you're eating. But it's, you know, you saw it, man. It's made from, you know, you're basically eating a butthole. You know, which is that made of a butthole, you know, have come out of it is dung, you know, but, you know, in the scriptures, it was said that because we went away from our power, you know, the Lord used the analogy in Ezekiel to express how we will basically be eating dung cakes, you know, literally, man. You know, a lot of chocolate is rat feces and different things of that nature. But, you know, sometimes, like you say, this devil, you know, use a lot of different new speaker, you know, just words that have multiple meaning of words, and he decode, you know, a lot of their ill for doings, all right, and the sacrifices of the wicked that they you know, give bread unto the children of Israel to eat, you know, and a lot of things that we eat, trust me, your enemy is poison it, you know, it's pure poison, And when we find out the things that we ate, man, you just hold your head, from the bread, everything is extremely defiled. All right, and that's why I said started off in that Luke. All right, when you go to your enemy for help, and the things that's organic and that they say is natural, all right, when you actually look into it, it's not so. Then they'll tell you, like the man said, in this proprietary. All right, when you look that up, obviously it's held in private ownership. Okay, meaning they don't got to explain to you what it is or etc. And when you go to these eastern countries, they a lot of the foods, the processed foods we eat are actually banned, from those countries, man. Not to say that they have the healthiest diet in the world, but nonetheless, it's a lot of the things that the Americans eat here. All right, it's actually banned overseas, man. So they just feed you like animals and slop here. They give you anything because they look at you as cattle and going. All right, now I'll get into a little bit of this because he said he made some points about the natural favor when he looked into it. So, as being students, looking up things to go and see, whether it's just an Instagram video or, hey, let's see what he's saying is right. Okay. All right. So it says natural flavor is a flavor substance derived from a natural source, such as a plant or animal. All right. Now, because if something is natural, there's no need to put natural on it. All right. You just put water and, the ingredients of it. All right. But it actually have natural flavor in it, which is, that's kind of, that's mind boggling a little bit to be like, all right, natural flavor, like it's just naturally made from nature, right? Just what natural mean. The root word is nature. All right, so it should just be organically grown, right? It says, however, it can be heavily processed and altered using other chemicals in a lab to achieve the final desired taste, and a final product may not contain the original source ingredient. You see, and mostly everything we eat is processed in one form or another. Even if they say it's farm grown, or whatever, we don't know it, we don't see it, we don't get it processed, we don't actually have farms and different things of that nature to actually see it, the whole process of the actual getting it, growing it, planting it, getting it, growing it. All right, and I did this. What made it fascinating was, obviously because it have wheat, and these are principal things that Jake like to eat, man. And they attack the things that Jake like to eat. All right, because they known, if they have studied us. All right, they know our dietary. From the bread, the wheat. Those was heavy. Those was heavy in Israelite diet cultures, man. All right, so they made sure they attacked that, by evil means, using hidden ingredients and different names of pork and different things of that nature, man. And the devil just the devil, and this ain't the first thing we have found to be tainted. All right, it's many things we have looked into to be tainted, man. Orange juice got roach blood in it, and amongst other things, man. It's just blow your mind at this point. Nothing is okay. We just got to get out of here, man. Salvation is our only hope. Okay, to this point. It says the only rule is that the flavoring begins as something natural, but there is no guarantee it is healthy or free of other processed ingredients like preservative or carriers. All right. What natural flavors mean? The flavoring must be derived from a natural source like spices, herbs, fruit, vegetable, meats, or animal matter. It's processing. Once the initial flavor is extracted, it can be modified. This includes heating, roasting, or combining it with other natural or synthetic chemicals to create the final flavor profile. All right. And that's why we got to be ingredients gurus. But at this point, man, learn to fast and eat, somebody. I accidentally intermediate fast because I don't eat in the morning going to work. All right. And then if I don't eat when I get home, I just haven't eaten for that day. All right. But like you say, the water is defiled. You know, we drinking, we're quaking with the things we eat and trembling as we eat. It tell you that in Ezekiel. Let me get that. All right. 12 and 18 real quick. All right. And obviously I'm gonna go to the oldies but goodies, but I just wanted to get a couple more out. All right, we quaking as we eating because we really don't know what we putting into our body, man. It says, "Son of man," Ezekiel 12 and 18. I'm gonna start at 17. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, "Son of man, eat thy bread with quaking, and drink thy water with trembling and with carefulness," man. You see? So there's no need to eat your bread with quaking unless we what? We're in a world of trouble with the things we consuming. All right. It's just heavily defiled, man, and it's just everything you eat, you got to think about it. It don't matter if it's chicken, like even the things that are good, all right, they have defiled it, because those was principal things. You see, this is Sirach 29, Sirach 39 and 26. It says the principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, that's defiled, the fire, that's defiled, all right. Salaka, that's the elder. Salaka, let me ask real quick. Hey, Shalom, Zaquan, Yabashima Shabakata. Now, yeah, on the thing, let me give you a call right back, and I'll find out what's going on. All right, Shalom. That's Salaki about that. It says, oh, Salaki, I was reading this. It says the principal thing: the iron, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. It says all these things are good to the godly, right? The godly represent you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, God's people. So to the sinners, they are turned into evil. All right. So they have turned, these things into evil, man. Okay. They turned them into evil. You see, in Ezekiel 4, this was because of our ill doing, man. And you gotta be careful what it is. It says what is not. All right, it is not necessarily healthy. The terms describes the original origin of the flavor, not the healthfulness of the final product, which may contain high levels of sugar, fat, or sodium. Okay. The key takeaway: the term natural flavor doesn't guarantee the food is natural. And there you go, man. In the way many consumers assume. It only indicates the flavor's origin, not its final composition nor health benefits. See? To ensure you are getting a truly whole base flavor, it's best to eat unprocessed foods or cook from scratch using real ingredients like the man had mentioned. All right? It says when purchasing processed food, first of all, it's processed. So that's chemicals, like you said, synthetic, additive ingredients. It's just not the pure natural ingredient. All right, sugar, fat, and sodium content to determine if it is a healthy choice, regardless of the presence of the natural flavors. All right. So again, that's the point. I'll play this video one more time, and I'll read this Ezekiel 4 and get to the point real quick. It says, take thou also unto thee wheat and barley and beans, Ezekiel 4 and 9, and lentils and millets and fitches, and put them in one vessels, and make thee bread thereof, according to the number of the days that thou shalt lie upon thy side. 390 days thou shalt eat thereof, right? During our time in slavery, when we have a wicked rule over us, over us. It says, and thy meat which thou shalt eat shall be by weight, 20 shekels a day. From time to time shalt thou eat it. Thou shalt drink also water by measure, the sixth part of an hin. From time to time thou shalt drink. And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung, and that cometh out of a man in their sight. So verse 13, and Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat that defiled bread amongst the Gentiles, whether I will drive them. All right. So we're still doing that to this very day, which lets you know we still under those curses, man. All right. That we will have our food defiled. We'll pick up serpents and still eat it. All right. We just hurt. The things that we would have for our delight, all right, is the evil have taken their deities, all right, and made it as a delight unto us, man. But really it's that. All right, it just was a short vid on just that word natural flavor, just like other words that they're using to replace replacement words and different things to actually for it to be the ingredient that it is. And like you said, once you look into all these ingredients and different things like that, man, you'll just find out this devil just using a subtle way to keep us poisoned and sick. So again, yeah, just be admonished of that and just pay attention to that word natural flavor. Until the next time, we'll say shalom.